I want you to imagine a woman, a feminine energy running through the jungle. She's not sure 100% if there's lions, if there's tigers, or if there are men chasing her. She's not sure where she will end up. She's not even sure how she's going to feed herself for the night. She runs through the rain until eventually she can run no more. She sits down underneath a beautiful palm tree and she notices how its leaves have raindrops falling from them. And so she cups her hand in the hopes that she can replenish herself. She's covered in sweat, but you wouldn't know it. It just looks like rain. It's only rain. Her heart is still racing like the beat of a drum. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. Her eyes move around in her head and she sees everything before her. She sees all of the threats lurking in the hovering darkness. And she looks up to the stars and she prays to her Creator to save her. And in that moment, she knows she can be calm. Eventually, she falls asleep underneath the tree. There is no shelter for her, and her body is still soaking wet. The only reason that she's calm is because she's so exhausted. Somehow the Creator has been there for her, allowed her to fall asleep. The melancholy of her life seeming to fall away in a dream state where she hopes and prays that the next day will be kinder to her. As she wakes the next day, she notices a tiger in the distance. It's stalking another prey, and she's grateful that she's seen it. And so she hides underneath the brush as conveniently as she can. She looks up to her left and sees a tree snake, but it also seems to be on its own trajectory, ever upward in the tree. She wonders whether or not it's safe to live in this world. There are so many predators, so many things waiting to harm her, and she wonders whether or not it's an accident that she found herself in such a place. Before she moves on, she knows that the only real thing she has is her faith, her belief that there's something greater than her, pushing her, moving her ever forward. She knows that she needs love. Her body feels it. If she could only have someone to wrap her up, if she could only have someone to hold her and tell her everything was going to be okay, if she could only gain more understanding as to how to love herself better. She tried. But it seems like this endless task. She takes another look around and wonders, within this jungle, if there could possibly be anyone for her. And if there was such a person, would they love her and all of her flaws? Would they love that tiny little scar that she got when she was a tiny girl? Would they love her anger when sometimes she becomes frustrated or hungry? Could they possibly love her cellulite? Could they possibly love the trauma that she's endured? And if so, why would they? Why would they want to love her? After a long day of searching for food, the woman finds herself underneath the shade of a canopy. The weather is warmer now and the rain has sufficed. But she longs to know more about why she's here. She yearns to understand how she might attract the most incredible, wonderful counterpart that belongs to her. She doesn't want to go on this journey alone. The aloneness in the jungle seems far too great, far too lonely. She longs to be held. She longs to be touched, even to have her hair stroked or her back rubbed. Her feet are bleeding and sore from the journey. And that night she looks up again at the stars and remembers her Creator. And in that moment she feels bliss, realizing the magnificence of the world, even with all of its duality. And so she begs to know from the Creator, is it possible that I could do this with someone else? Is it possible that I could learn more about myself and understand why I behave in certain ways? To know why I get afraid when I get afraid. To know why I want to cry when I feel sad. Is it possible that there's someone else who would understand me, who would reflect all of me to me, so that I may grow, so that I may study myself and know my place in this world? Is it possible that this jungle I've been put into was actually made so that I may find out who I am and who I am to become through another? And as she looked up to the stars once more, she sees a shooting star, as if her Creator is telling her that everything's going to be alright. As if the calmness of the night, with all of its noises, brings her some serenity in that very moment. Can she be calm? Can she be happy? What does she want? Who does she want? Where does she really want to be? And what morals does she want to take with her? Is there some kind of mission that she has for her planet? Or is she meant to suffer from all the trauma of the past? She realizes in that moment that her future is her own. And in every moment she chooses to manifest her own desires. And that her thoughts are the most powerful thing that she has. and that her body is the vessel that allows her to move around in the world to get where she needs to go. And so she wonders and asks her Creator, how will I manifest him, my counterpart? How will I come to know it's him? And how can I be closer to him and keep him in my life so that he wants to stay with me? The jungle was silent after her call, and then she realized that it was up to her, and that the only thing she needed was the tools to understand how she might manifest him. If she only knew how she could manifest him, how on earth could she do it? Was it with her heart or with her mind? She couldn't be sure. She knew that her heart longed for it. She knew that she wanted it. She knew that she wanted to be wrapped up in his love. But she didn't know how to get to union. And so it became her quest to know more, to understand more about how to keep this man that she hadn't even met yet, but she knew he was out there somewhere, also wishing upon a star, thinking the same, hoping that there was someone to hold him and wrap him up in all of this warmth. And so she remained apart for him for now, but she also knew that he wasn't too far away.